This is Art Television.
Coming up, State of Business, sponsored by
IWS Aviation.
Hello there, you're watching our television. This is State of Business. I'm Pamutha Karugampala. Our top stories. President expresses confidence on external debt restructuring. Tourism sector unites to promote Sri Lanka. And now let's have a detailed look at today's stories. President Ranil Wickremesinghe yesterday expressed confidence on successful restructuring of external debt following talks with Chinese finance minister. The president said that a delegation headed by the State Minister of Finance held initial discussions with the International Monetary Fund and China, India and Japan. The government is giving priority to immediately solve national bankruptcy and to ensure food security. President Ranil Wickremesinghe made these remarks following an observation tour of cultivated lands in the Siambalandur Divisional Secretariat, where he also engaged in open discussions with farmers. Farmers discussed issues directly with the president, discussed the lack of fertilizer, insecticides and pesticides, as well as land, irrigation and the threat of wild elephants. The relevant officials were directed to provide immediate solutions to these problems. The farmers mentioned that this was the first time a president had visited them. A president's official additional secretary is to be appointed to handle these problems. The president, responding to issues related to education, said that he will provide facilities to ensure education and the opportunity to enter university. The president also discussed the progress of the implementation of the food security program in Monoragala district with government officials. The president mentioned that if a proper program is not implemented to provide food, the people will starve to death. The president also stressed that politics should be discussed only in parliament and that everyone should unite to fulfill the needs of the people.
ඒකයි මම කිව්වේ අපි දැන් පොර ලබලා දෙන්න. පළවෙනි දවස් 14ට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා කොහොමවත් අපිට උවමනා පොර B වගාවටයි බඩේනු වගාවටයි උවමනා පොර අපි ලබලා දෙනවා මේ කන්නේට. ඒ ගැන ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඇති කරගන්න එපා. ඒ වගා කරන්න පුළුවන් ඒවට අපි උදව් කරලා දෙන්න. විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ වැඩ කටයුත්ත අපි ආරම්භ කරලා තියෙන්නේ මේක අකණ්ඩව ගෙනියන්න. පුළුවන් පහසුකම් දෙනවා. අද ආණ්ඩුවත් බංකොලොත් තුනත් රට වංකොලොත් තුනත් මේ මහ කන්නේ වෙනකොට අපිට විශේෂයෙන්ම වී වගාවත් බඩිරඟුත් අනික් භෝග වගා කරලා කරන්න ඕමනේ. එහෙනම් මහ කන්නේ වෙනකොට ඊට ඉස්සෙල්ලා හරි හොඳ අස්වැන්නක් ඒ කාලේ තියෙනවා. හොඳ අස්වැන්නක් තියෙනවා නම් එහෙනම් එතකොට රටේ ආර්ථිකයේ ස්ථාවරභාවය වැඩි වෙනවා. මොකද නිෂ්පාදනය වැඩි වුණාම ස්ථාවරභාවය වැඩි වෙනවා. ඉතින් මෙතන වී වගාව පමණක් නෙමෙයි අස්වැන්න එකතු කරන එකත්, එතන තියෙන නාස්තිය අඩු කරන එකත්, ඊළඟට ගබඩා කිරීමත්, ඒ වගේම බෙදා හැරීමේ ජාරිත අපි දියුණු කරන්නේ. තවත් අඩුපාඩු කන්ති එක සැරේ ඔක්කොම කරන්න බැරි වුණාට මේ ටික ගෙනල්ලා අපි සාර්ථකව මේ වැඩ කටයුත්ත කරන්න තියෙනවා. ඉතින් විශේෂයෙන්ම මේක වැදගත් නිසා මහ කන්නේ වෙනකන් අපේ මූලික වැඩ කටයුත්ත තියෙන්නේ ආහාර සුරක්ෂිත වැඩසටහන ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න.
Meanwhile, the recent report shows that the economic crisis has impacted 96% of households with food, health costs and livelihoods. Mental health and education of children were also listed as concerns. The Complex Emergency Needs Assessment report was prepared by the Sri Lanka Red Cross Society and the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies. It found that 5.7 million people require urgent humanitarian assistance and upstream interventions. The numbers are very likely to multiply, the report adds. Households are employing negative coping strategies such as reducing meals, postponing medical care, taking children out of school or selling assets. Incomes have almost halted in 11% of households surveyed and decreased for 62% following the onset of the economic crisis. Over 85% of households have deployed coping mechanisms, with those involved in agriculture, fisheries and transport amongst the worst affected. 4 out of 5 estate households, 2/3 of rural households and half of urban households had moved deeper into debt with the onset of the crisis. 1/3 of households had reported lack of access to critical medicines as well as difficulty in travelling to obtain medical care. Unsustainable indebtedness is predicted to grow along with higher avoidable morbidity and mortality rates. The report recommends that support efforts should be integrated as part of a wider coordinated approach targeting vulnerable persons. This could also entail engaging community resources and responses to build resilience. Now, Sri Lanka Tourism will begin marketing special travel packages targeting a fraction of the FIFA World Cup 2022 fans. Stakeholders aim to draw around 3,000 to 5,000 visitors during the tournament. The joint industry promotion push will commence on Wednesday. Special offer packages that will be sold for around $600 including travel and accommodation. The promotion is coordinated by Sri Lanka Tourism in partnership with travel and hotel sector to capture a sizable fraction of the over 1.2 million football fans who will attend World Cup matches in its FIFA zone in Negombo. Prospective tourists have the option to selecting from several packages. Accommodation for the minimum 3-night package will start at $305 per person, sharing double. With around 40,000 room capacity in host country Qatar, which given the high demand are going for around $1,000. Sri Lanka hopes to capture a segment of these football fans during the 4 to 5 day break between matches. In addition to this, the Minister of Tourism has confirmed that Qatar Airways, official airline partner for the FIFA World Cup 2022, will increase its flight frequency to Colombo to encourage visits to Sri Lanka in between matches. Meanwhile, a delegation comprising over 70 travel and tourism firms will engage in a fresh destination marketing campaign next month during this year's World Travel Market in London. Over 100 personnel led by Minister of Tourism Harin Fernando have geared up to entice global travellers from the 7th to 9th of November. On the inaugural day, authorities will host a press conference. There will also be a number of networking events over the duration of the trade show. See you soon with more stories after this short commercial break. Welcome back. You're watching State of Business. Now, the index of industrial production recovered from July to August, but the index remains well below last year's levels as the economy is in recession. The index compiled by the Department of the Census and Statistics reported a value of 90.5 index points for August. This is a drop of 14.3% from a year ago on contraction seen in the manufacture of food products, textiles, paper and paper products, coke and refined petroleum products. This also includes furniture, basic metals, electrical equipment and non-metallic mineral products. However, the other big sectors like manufacturing of beverages and wearing apparels logged growth from the previous year, predominantly in exports. The index hit an all-time low for the year in July when the index dropped to 85.6 points as the country endured fuel shortages and power cuts amid massive political and social upheaval. On a monthly basis, the index slipped 1.3%, reflecting the continued decline in the country's industrial sector through the third quarter after the economy contracted 8.4% in the second quarter. The August contraction in industrial activities provides a preview of the continuous decline in the economy through the second half of the year, bringing the full-year contraction to an estimated 9%, a new record low. The dollar shortage and tight monetary and fiscal policies put in place to arrest inflation have been weighing on almost all economic activities since the second quarter of this year. While export-oriented manufacturers are somewhat insulated from ongoing troubles, other businesses are faced with numerous challenges, which include defending margins, falling sales, and supply chain problems. Meanwhile, the Producer Price Index for all economic activities as reported by the Department of Census and Statistics for the month of August 2022 is 248.7. The annual change in the Producer Price Index has been compiled as 103.4%. The Producer Price Index reported for the three major economic activities of manufacturing, agriculture and utilities are 256.1, 245.8 and 105.3 respectively. All three major sectors, manufacturing, agriculture and utilities sector, reported positive changes of 108.6%, 96% and 2.6% respectively on annual basis. In the agriculture sector, the sub-activities of animal production, growing of non-perennial crops and growing of perennial crops reported positive changes of 127.3%, 113.2% and 66.7% respectively on an annual basis. All sub-activities of the manufacturing sector reported positive growth rates in the month of August 2022 compared to the same month of 2021. For the month of August 2022, the sub-activities in the utility sector reported positive changes of 2.9% and 1.6% on an annual basis. Comparing the month-on-month changes, Producer Price Index in August 2022 has increased to 248.7 from 243.0 reported in July 2022. This shows an increase of 5.7 index points or 2.3% compared to July 2022. The economic activities of agriculture, manufacturing and utilities reported positive changes of 7%, 1.8% and 0.7% on a monthly basis. Sri Lanka needs to strengthen services provided to the international maritime community as well as set up policies that will cater to current demands and expectations. These sentiments were expressed by Minister of Ports, Shipping and Aviation, Nimal Siripal de Silva during a recent celebration held to mark the World Maritime Day.
Today we had an opportunity to discuss the challenges and the way forward in the maritime field and how Sri Lanka could be a maritime hub in the Indian Ocean. Though we are geographically in an advantageous situation, we can't expect the ships to come here and contribute to our economy merely by the fact that we are in a geographically located situation. We need to strengthen the services we provided in our ports, correct policies, and also the change of attitude according to the needs of the present demand and the present society. I am happy that this forum gave all of us a chance, an opportunity to understand more about the maritime sector and the challenges and the way forward. And I seek your cooperation to implement the various progressive work we have embarked on.
Stay tuned for stock updates. Welcome back, this is State of Business and now stock updates. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on negative notes today. The All-Share Price Index dropped 109.63 points to close at 8,983.74 and the S&P 20 dropped 62 points to close at 2,720.73. The turnover was 1.8 billion rupees and over 69 million shares were traded. Coming up next are Forex rates. And with that, we wind up for today's. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Take care and good night.
State of Business was